everybody, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Philadelphia Sports, where, as you might have guessed it, we go over everything that's happened this week in Philadelphia sports. Again, if you're new to the channel and you do enjoy this content, it will be amazing if you could hit that big red button. Look, I know the % of you who watch this content aren't subscribed, and that more heartbreaking than old Sean tipping that pass against us. Look, I know I dug up a wound, alright, but I'm hoping we don't need to dig up any more if you just stick around. But we're going to kick things off with the Eagles, because believe it or not, for the first time in forever, this show has breaking news. Breaking news! Breaking news! Woo! Normally what happens when I upload Twips is that I put the video out and then about 20 minutes later a story happens making the whole video useless. But not today, you rapscallions. Not today, because it's happened beforehand. So what was the news? Well, it's kind of sad, really. The Eagles released a player the day before he was meant to report to training camp. Sort of like being fired from your job before your first day. I mean, that's quite an accomplishment. The player in question was undrafted free agent Khalil Tate, a former quarterback who was going to transition to wide receiver following in the footsteps of Greg Ward Jr. He was a really intriguing prospect. Someone that actually worked out with Jalen Hurts, attended some quarterback camps in the past with him. The two were quite close, and there was a really intriguing storyline there about, well, this is now the third quarterback of that mold. You see Jalen Hurts, a dual threat. You've got Greg Ward. Could we begin to see them grooming that eventual role? Is there going to be some like Taysom Hill level packages? Not for Tate anymore. He's not on the team, so that sucks. He rushed for 1,400 yards in 2018, while throwing for 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and over 2,500 yards. He was a pretty good quarterback. Formerly of the University of Arizona. The Eagles parted ways with him. Now again, for context here, guys, training camp does start in 8 days, unless you're not watching it today, in which case I could guess it's 5, but I don't know. Rookies report tomorrow on the 21st. You've then got quarterbacks and injured players on the 23rd, while the rest of the team report on the 28th. There is, of course, a bit of a grey area here where nobody knows what's going on with the NFL right now. It is about as stable as my last relationship, okay? It's not great. Talked today about the NFL reducing the amount of preseason games from 2 to 1, and players obviously not happy with that. They don't want any preseason. Some of the younger guys do because they want to prove themselves, but I fully understand every NFL athlete who wants to sit this one out or go, like, I don't want to jeopardize the safety of my family and the friends and my teammates. Like, I fully understand that. What perplexes me is that the NFL was the only league in existence to have hit the pandemic without a season going on. Alright, NBA, NHL had to cut, MLS were just starting, baseball did whatever happened with the MLB, but the NFL had the longest period to sort this out, and they still haven't, and it's still a mess, and it is really embarrassing, in my opinion, on the NFL's part. So there is a chance that Khalil Tate went, nah lads, I'm sitting this one out, not for me, and he'll catch on with another team later on when he knows it's going to be more stable, in which case, I fully understand it. That is speculation, that's not what happened. I'm just speculating on reasons why the Eagles may have gone, well, alright, if you're going to opt out, there's no reason to be here tomorrow, see you later. I get that. Now, with regards to the vacant roster spot, I do feel like Alex Ellis could be coming back. He was the man that took it on the chin, not like that, lads, alright, family channel, in order for Jason Peters to return at right guard. The Eagles at tight end right now have Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert, Joshua Perkins, who has shown development, but nothing incremental, I would say, over the last year or so, and then undrafted free agent Noah Togiai. So adding a fourth name to that mix not only adds depth, but certainly provides some competition for Perkins and Togiai to see who's going to win that tight end 3 spot. Outside of that, yeah, the Eagles did bring Jason Peters back. Shock. We covered this extensively last week, so we won't go too much into it and what it means for the team, but basically, moving him from left tackle to right guard, it's a total wildcard decision. It could save them money. It also buys them a backup left tackle who can come in and potentially help relieve some of the pressure off of Andre Dillard and mentor the former first-round pick as well. So there are pros and cons to the move. Pros are ultimate left tackle insurance policy and someone that might be able to start right guard. If he can't, you've got Matt Pryor beneath him. Cons? We'll leave it for another day. All Eagles draft picks have signed their contracts, which is obviously quite contrasting to what's happened with Khalil Tate today, but all the way from Jalen Reagor right down to Casey Tuhill, every single Eagles draft pick has signed their contract, which means they are at the Novacare complex and they will be reporting for training camp tomorrow. Now, training camp in itself is going to be very different, as we know. I don't think media are allowed to be there or report explicitly on what happens, which is brilliant for me, but basically it's going to be very different. We'll try and bring you guys as much updates as we can, but the full team won't be there again until the 28th. So it's just rookies this next week or so. Going to be very, very important for that group to get acclimatized, to basically have the rookie mini camp that never was, all squeezed in to a 7-day period. On to the Philadelphia Flyers, and it's been a week of relatively wholesome content, I can't lie. I mean, you've got Alan Vigneault that was nominated for the Jack Adams Award, an award that recognises the NHL's Coach of the Year, and I got to speak with AV earlier this week, and he's really excited about it. He's confident that the Flyers are going to hit the ground running. He's confident that his group will be able to make the most of such a unique opportunity where there aren't fans. It's not something any team is used to, but having played on neutral ice in Prague earlier this year when they faced off against Chicago, having dealt with so much adversity and heartbreak and a trip out to the West, and then you've obviously got the heartbreak that we saw with Oskar Lindblom. This team has been through a lot together, and I think that's really galvanised the unit ahead of the playoffs. Don't forget, they went on a 9-game winning streak, and AV has coached them to their best record in over 30 years. The Flyers will have an exhibition game against the Penguins in the coming days, so stay tuned for that. Jerome Couturier was named a finalist for the Selke Trophy, someone that has 59 points in 69 games, but that award has always eluded him up to this point for a myriad of reasons, not all of them understandable. He's on the positive side of every single defensive metric a forward could achieve, which is ridiculous. But he'll be up against Ryan O'Reilly and Patrice Bergeron, so I mean, he's going to have his work cut out for him according to the writers that are going to judge the award. Of course, Oskar Lindblom was also nominated for the Bill Masterson Trophy. So all in all, it's been a very wholesome week for the Flyers. We've now got a schedule of when the team will play. They had a game move today, so the showdown against Tampa Bay will be on the 28th of July and not the 29th, but stay tuned 23rd for the Bruins. But their exhibition game against the Pens remains the same, so we're all geared up for that. The Philadelphia Phillies haven't signed Real Muto still, so that's fun. But their season returns on Friday. They're currently working through inter-squad scrimmages. There's a tongue twister for you. And playing some exhibition matchups as well, where Bryce Harper's looking very good, and it looks as though Alex Baum will see plenty of time this year. Big news for the Philadelphia Union though. They somehow beat Inter Miami, and a shoddy display from the referees. And if you're around for the live stream, thank you so much for tuning in. They face off against Orlando City SC in a bid to clinch the Group A stage, in a bid to seal their Group A victory. If they win tonight, they win Group A, they face a third place team coming out of Group C, D, or E, or F, I believe. Whereas if they lose or draw, then they're going to face the second place team from Group C, who could be New England or DC. So it's important they win, and of course these points carry over to the regular season. Although, I mean, to be honest, again, you say MLS is back, you assume that they're resuming MLS. They're not. MLS is back is its own tournament. It is separate, but it's kind of not separate. So MLS is back, but it isn't back, but it's kind of back, and it's cool. Anyway, guys, live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you're tuning in for our watch-along, Union v Orlando City. I'll be calling all the action. It'll be cool to see as many of you there as possible. And the Sixers have their first game coming up on the 2nd of August. They'll face off against the Indiana Pacers, who may or may not have Victor Oladipo, but they're currently inside the bubble. Matisse is vlogging. They're getting the work in. Ben Simmons is hitting 3-point shots, bizarrely, and jumpers, and Tobias Harris has nice hair now. So that's about as many updates as we've got on the Sixers side of things. But that is it, guys. Today, this one has been a bit of a whistle-stop tour. I'm trying to get prepared for the live stream tonight. I hope to see as many of you there as we can. Thank you so much for tuning in. From myself, Liam Jenkins, I'll see you next time for another episode of This Week in Philadelphia Sports. Take care.